There's a storm brewing just beneath the surface of everything we know, a seismic shift that only a few can see, and fewer still can brave the weight of. Billionaires, the people with power, resources beyond imagination, are quietly slipping into impact work, not blasting it on headlines or using it as a trophy. They're going stealth. Why? Because the old ways don't work anymore. The flashy PR, the hollow charity, the shallow pats on the back, they're all distractions, traps that keep the truly transformative locked away from view. They've seen the game for what it is, and they refuse to play by those rules any longer. Maybe you felt it too. The frustration of doing more and more, yet seeing less and less real change. The sinking feeling that no matter how much money, how many projects, how many meetings happen, the system just swallows it all and spits out the same mess, over and over. That burning ache, that restless fire inside that says this can't be how it ends. The truth is, it's not about money. It's not about influence or status. It's about something brutally simple and brutally rare. Alignment. Alignment between values and action. Between vision and reality. Between who these billionaires really are and what the world desperately needs. What's shaking the foundations isn't the sound of deals made or profits raked in. It's the silent commitment to something deeper, something harder, something that demands they burn their old identities to ash and rise again, not as titans of industry, but as architects of a new world. This stealth movement isn't about flash. It's about depth. It's about stepping out of the spotlight because the spotlight blinds. It forces performative gestures, shallow smiles, and compromises that kill the very essence of change. And so, these billionaires vanish from the headlines because real impact isn't built for applause. It's built in shadows, in quiet, relentless work. It burns in the kind of courage it takes to dismantle one's own empire, to question every assumption, to reject every comfort that asks for anything less than everything. This silence, this withdrawal from spectacle, is the most fierce declaration of war against the old world. You might be thinking, how can stepping back get things moving forward? Isn't it better to broadcast success, to lead from the front? The answer is no, not anymore. When influence is loudest, the most precious voices get drowned out. The edge where real progress lives is cluttered with noise, not ideas, but distractions dressed as ideas. Those billionaires have realized that the next level of change demands a different playbook, one that's not written by committees or dictated by quarterly reports. It's a playbook drafted on the wild edges of reality, by the few willing to shed their titles and reinvent what power really means. What can this mean for you, for those building social enterprises, shaping investments, or guiding teams towards something beyond profit? It means the very game around you is changing. Your old tools, your old strategies, they're no longer enough. You need to cultivate what the billionaires moving stealthily know instinctively. Impact is a quiet storm. It's built on patient, almost invisible foundations that connect not just money with mission, but people with purpose, individuals with networks so sharp, so brutally honest, they don't just survive. They explode into new possibilities. This isn't just about funding or resources. It's about how you choose your circle, how ruthlessly you guard your focus, how boldly you say no to every distraction that dilutes your vision. These billionaires aren't scattering their energy across every trend or every shiny cause. They are hunting for the rare few who burn as fiercely as they do, those who stare the status quo in the face and laugh because they are ready to break it. This is the real secret. It's not just about impact being measurable in charts or headlines. It's about finding the fire inside yourself and others that refuses to be tamed, about building a hidden engine of connection that delivers transformation quietly, but powerfully. Right now, the system you navigate is cracked, broken, deliberately designed to contain and dilute that fire. It rewards mediocrity, silences voices that threaten comfort, and systematically erodes the radical edge needed to shift reality. You can feel it in every meeting that wastes hours, every funding round that pushes shallow metrics, every project that dies quietly because no one dared to risk being misunderstood. That's not your fault. It's the system's. But here is where the story turns. This is exactly why those billionaires are going stealth. They've chosen not to fix the broken system from within because that is a fool's game. Instead, they're building something new, something outside the rules, beyond the reach of the masses, where true power can be reclaimed by those who dare to be different. Imagine a world where the most brilliant individuals, founders, investors, leaders like you, stop chasing approval or scale for scale's sake and instead seek the few connections that electrify change. Where impact isn't a campaign or a trend, but a movement crafted from fierce individual sovereignty, critical thinking, and relentless transformation. Where patience becomes your weapon because you understand that meaningful change isn't a viral post or a quarterly win. It's a long, brutal climb that only those with the deepest fire survive. Now picture this. What if your next big step isn't about growing bigger, but growing sharper? What if the investment you seek or the partnership you crave is not with a crowd, but with a single person who gets your rare frequency, who challenges your limits and matches your hunger? These stealth billionaires, they know this. That's why they retreat from the noise. Because every distraction costs power. Every relationship forged for convenience or appearances steals time from those real, soul-level connections that can move mountains. You're probably sick of the overhyped, overpromised promises of quick impact, the tired language of scaling, growth, and disruption packed into a neat box. The reality is ugly, chaotic, and terrifying, but it's also filled with raw potential. Beneath the surface, the most radical shifts happen quietly, behind closed doors, in whispered strategies between two fiercely determined individuals who refuse to settle for less than what the world needs. This underground network of misfits, rebels, and visionaries is not an accident. It's the blueprint for the future, a future where systems don't trap brilliance but fuel it, where the few become many through aligned, brutal synergy, not through loud, hollow rally calls. If you're still here, feeling that burn inside, you're exactly who this is for. You don't need another plan that recycles the same failed ideas. You need a call to arms that means everything, that demands transformation, not tweaks. That invites you to shed old armor and rebuild from the raw, unfiltered core of your true potential. It's okay if that feels scary. It should. Because greatness lives in that fear, walks hand in hand with it. So how do you step into this hidden world? Start ruthless with yourself. Question every belief you hold about success, about impact, about what you deserve. Align with the few who refuse to play small, who get that the long game is the only game worth playing. Build your network like a wall, not a web. Strong, unyielding, but allowing only the fiercest flames through. Practice your freedom like a muscle. Challenge everything. Break what no longer serves. Rebuild with intention and patience. The billionaires going stealth aren't afraid of the grind. They choose silence because it's in silence that the loudest change is born. They know power without purpose is a hollow lie. They carry a code not visible to the world but carved deep into their actions. Be sovereign, be critical, be transformative, be selective, be patient. If you learn nothing else today, learn this. Nothing worth building thrives in the spotlight. It grows in the margins, fed by the few with fire enough to pay the price. You, the founders, the investors, the leaders watching now, have a choice. Keep chasing noise and empty applause, or dare to join the rare few carving new paths where impact can truly breathe, expand, and multiply. The world doesn't need more followers of the old scripts. It needs those who will burn the scripts to ashes and write a new story with their own hands. It's time. Time to step away from the noise, to embrace the silence, to join those silently rewriting what it means to impact the world. This isn't a trick. It's a revolution shattering the fragile assumption that power and impact must be flashy, loud, or fast. Real power is quiet, relentless, and fiercely invisible. It's the power you felt inside but didn't dare name. The power billions of dollars can't buy. The power that will set the future on fire. Will you step into it?